Hello, my name is Lauri, and in this video I will talk about outdoor bouldering in Estonia and share my first ascent at one of Estonia's most famous locations. As a fan of interdisciplinarity approaches, I'll go a bit beyond just climbing. So exploring some fascinating aspects of Estonian geology, history and rally sport. So let's get started. Currently, I'm 43 years old and I have been into indoor climbing for 2 years now. I even built a climbing wall in my attic, so for training. And since climbing holes are quite expensive, you can check out my previous video where I made climbing holes from wooden logs and attached them to my wall. So anyway, climbing has become an addiction for me. It's something that keeps my both physical and mental health in balance. But at the same time, this climbing addiction keeps growing, and sooner or later you are climbing outdoors. So honestly, I can't even say how far is my first outdoor rope climbing experience. Probably it's closer than I can imagine. If you ever visited Estonia, you might wonder where are all the mountains and boulders, especially since this country is so close to Finland. Where is V17 burden of dreams in Estonia? Well, to answer that question, we need to first compare the geology of Estonia and Finland. For this comparison, I will use the Wikipedia Gulf of Finland article and Kristo Martin Winn's Bachelor thesis graph. So as you can see from the geological perspective, Estonia and Finland, they are sharing the same crystalline basement, but Estonian territory is currently covered by the layers of sediments from the latest geological time eras. Currently, I'm in the capital of Estonia, Tallinn, in the harbor, and you can't find any granite stone here. So it means that you need to take the trip to Finland. As you can see, no granite stone here. Hello! We are getting closer to Finland. And what is more important, you can see here small islands, and they are made out of granite. There are still some of the granite boulders on Estonian soil, and we can thank for that the last ice age for bringing them here. The large boulders found in Estonia are called rändrahnud, which means glacial erratics. About 150 of these rändrahnud have a perimeter of over 25 meters, or the longest side exceeding 10 meters. Unfortunately, I have to disappoint you all. These gigantic boulders are protected in Estonia, which means you can't destroy them or damage them. So, if you don't destroy or damage the boulders, you can still climb on them. Luckily, I found a boulder that's not on the Estonian protected list, and it's close to where I live, in Tartu, Estonia's second largest city. It's a lovely university city, rich in history. So based on the earliest mentioning of the city, Tartu will soon celebrate its 100,000th anniversary. But archaeological findings show that people have lived here already 10,000 years ago. Just outside of Tartu lies Raadi Manor, Raadi mõis, a historic estate that's been here around since medieval times. Its last private owners were the Lipphardt family, before it was taken over by the state when Estonia gained independence. Now here's the wild part. In 1914, 4 years before Estonia became independent, the manor owner had a farming field flattened on the estate grounds so that his pilot nephew could land planes there. Few years later, this became already military airfield, and during Soviet occupation, Tartu was closed city for foreign tourists. Why? Well, because the same airfield was a major Soviet bomber base, part of long-range aviation force. And Cold War, well, in 1959, US military map listed Tartu Raadi Airfield as a nuclear target. So yeah, from manor farming fields to Cold War strike zones, history runs deep here. In 1999, 8 years after Estonia regained independence, a decision was made. The airport would not be renovated. In 2016, the Estonian National Museum was built at the end of the former runway as a symbolic representation of Estonia's takeoff into new era. But next to the Raadi Manor, there was also open mining gravel field, abandoned after the Soviets used its gravel to build and reinforce the runways at the airbase. So 1 year before opening the museum, the abandoned gravel field was also transformed, what's now called Majoraadi Park. Nice park designed using some really cool landscape architecture ideas. And right there, in that peaceful Majoraadi Park, I found a boulder. The first one I ever had the chance to experience outdoor bouldering, name it, and also grade it. Wait, I said Majoraadi Park is peaceful, right? Well, that kind of depends on the season. In July, the park turns into part of the World Rally Championships Rally Estonia with a stage called TArtu Vald 1. Not exactly just average quiet spot. But anyway, I got myself a crash pad, packed my climbing shoes, and made my way to the boulder in Majoraadi Park. The Estonia stage TArtu Vald 1 starts right here and ends right over there. Oh, and that building in the distance, well, that's Estonian National Museum. Okay, let's lock in and focus more. We are doing climbing video. So if you ever climbed outdoors, you know the drill. There's a tons of prep before even you have the chance to climb. So you need to clear away the branches, find the proper holds for hands and feet. And when it's your first ascent, you're basically doing the route setting, so figuring out the beta from scratch. And later at some point you look at the boulder and you see way too much chalk everywhere, because it turns out that you didn't even need half of those holes, but you just tried them. Oh, and yeah, a lot of time goes into failing them. So I filmed this experience late September in Estonia. Air was quite dry, temperature was 14 degrees Celsius, and this is the first ascent on this boulder. Yes! I decided to name the boulder Rally Estonia. And the grade is, on my opinion, 6A plus. So maybe hard V3. But looking at the boulder profile, there is still room to imagine harder challenges. So yeah, my first outdoor climbing experience. Honestly, pretty successful. It definitely gave me motivation to go out and climb more boulders in the future. And in the big picture, just being outdoors is awesome. Okay, so enjoy climbing, visit Estonia, whether you're into art, music, sport, history, food, friendly people, or just nature. I think Estonia will catch your cover. And if you are thinking to visit Estonia and you want to check out some indoor climbing gyms or commercial outdoor walls, I dropped the link into the description with the locations. So thank you for watching and see you next time.